Alright, I have been looking forward to this build for a couple months now, and this is what started it. This truck is going from an 8S to a 12S, and moving it to the 12S isn't just about speed. It also completely changes the load going through it from the drivetrain to chassis. So after tearing everything down, I didn't want to just throw the power at it and hope for the best. So when I decided I was going to go with the 7125 and the MAX4 combo, I had to really ask myself, okay, well, what parts are going to take the most impact, and how is it going to change the way that I drive, or do I just want it to support the way that I do drive? So that's what it came down to. So this rebuild is about strengthening the truck where the forces actually travel before it ever sees the full power. I broke this build down into 4 areas: the power, the drivetrain, the foundation, and impact control. So this 7125 and MAX4 combo, they change everything. Once torque goes up that much, every weak point in this truck will get exposed. So power usually doesn't break parts instantly. It exposes alignment and stress problems that were already there. So for the drivetrain upgrades, what I did, I went with the Mega Drive shafts with M2C, and you can tell this is the new drive shaft, and this is the stock drive shaft. With that, I'm also upgrading the rear center axle. I'm also going with the M2C of that. My diff components are also being upgraded. So I'm going from the composite to aluminum, and that is made by Vitavon. So I'm going with this because composite and plastic allows for flex. In the drivetrain, I don't want that. So I don't need gears shifting, damage to the gears in the drivetrain itself. For the motor mount, this is also an M2C part, as you can tell. This is going to support that monster of a motor. So all the power has to travel through all this first. So most drivetrain failures actually come from misalignment under the load, not just the raw power. And as I said about the diff cases, the stock ones work fine if you're running 8S, and I haven't had any issues with those. But higher torque causes that housing to flex. So this upgrade will keep the gear alignment consistent under the load, and that's what will protect this drivetrain. So I went with the M2C chassis kit, and this is the Mega Kraton. So it's a little bit longer than the stock chassis that it comes with. And I've got the upgraded hinge pin blocks on the front and the rear. I've got the bulkhead. So this is upgraded from the composite to the aluminum as well. And with this chassis, there's brace holders that are mounted onto it to provide that extra strength. For if this chassis twists, then alignment will change everywhere else. So the support and structure are real important on the chassis. Now that the power transfer is reinforced, the next focus is going to be controlling the impact and the steering precision. So with that, I'm using the M2C bell crank, and I'm using the Vitavon steering system. And I'm using the Vitavon 150 kilogram servo. We'll see how that goes. This one's actually the second version, and this has a polyurethane bushing instead of springs. And it does come with a spare bushing as well. With this much power, Steering precision is going to matter more than we expect it to. And if the steering flexes, you're fighting the truck instead of controlling it. Suspension and impact management. So I've already upgraded the shocks with the M2C shafts, and I have the internals that I will be using as well. So I'll be changing those out. I'm also upgrading to these springs I found on Amazon. They are very, very stiff, which will help prevent a lot of that rebound on landings from the heavy vehicle, along with my limit straps. And I will also be using some fuel line tubing on here as well, just as a extra precaution. So the landing energy has to go somewhere. So stronger isn't always better, but controlled movement is. The goal is managing the impact energy instead of transferring it to the chassis. Some of this is also because it just looks awesome. So I'm super stoked about that. I can't wait to see this final product. So even with the aesthetic upgrades, they still support durability and alignment. So there's not really a piece on here that is aesthetic that doesn't serve a purpose. So why am I going with M2C and Vitavon? It's because I like both brands. M2C focuses on structural reinforcement, while Vitavon also brings precision machine rigidity in key areas. Together, they complement each other instead of overlapping. So they work really well together when the right pieces are meshed together. So the next step is starting the rebuild from the front assembly, since that's where the highest impact load shows up during teardown. Next video, we'll go ahead and I'll change the gearing and put those in the put those in the new differential casings, and I'll upgrade the spur gear and the center drive system, and that'll be the start. So hang in there. I'm super excited for this build. I hope you guys are too. This build isn't about making it faster. It's about making it survive the power first. This is Rob with RT's Precision RCs. Drive it hard and fix it right. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.